preceding message was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. Allstate Insurance Companies, you're in good hands with Allstate. And by Sears Tire and Auto Center, home of straight talk, good values, and satisfaction.
Both teams coming back. We talked about the Cardinals being almost flawless. Listen to a couple of these stats. Third down efficiency. That is converting a third down play into a first down. The Cardinals had 6 of them and converted all 6 times for 100%. Cardinals had only 6 pass attempts, completed 5. And this is what a coach likes to see. Wayne Morris gained 75 yards in the first half, and Otis Anderson gained 81 yards in the first half.
Yes, and they're averaging, Morris is averaging 5.4 per carry, and Anderson 5.8, but that's the kind of balance that you seek. And you're very effective offensively when you can run the ball as well as the St. Louis Cardinals have run it in the first half.
The Cardinals have not been sacked, and they have not fumbled. There's Guy Benjamin. He's the youngster out of Stanford that has to engineer this club back into the game somehow because the starter has been injured, Archie Manning. Speaking of quarterbacks, the indispensable man here in the early days of the New Orleans Saints, famous Billy Kilmer.
Yeah, and he's been a great competitor, and he was entered into the New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame today, and very worthy award for a great performer and a great competitor.
Here's Archie with his right arm bandaged, strained triceps. Very popular with everyone. You coached him. I've only been around him a few times, but he has a very likable personality. I could see where he could go out in any business and be a leader.
Yeah, he's such a great kid. It's very easy for him to crawl up in your lap because you like him so much. He's a great competitor, terrific talent, and a wonderful good guy to coach during the course of any season. And they're going to miss him tremendously if he has a serious problem with that arm.
Ricardo is going to kick off for the Saints. First time he's kicked off. It'll be something strange. Myers is hurt also. He took a hit from running back Wayne Morris, number 37, who has really run like a wild bull today. He just belted everybody in his path. Get out of my way. They're up short. Benny Ricardo. Roy Green. Back deep. See who they kick it to. It's short. And it bounds around and scoots by Willard Harrell. He's at the 5 and trying to fight back. Now picks up the blockers. Comes out to the 22. He turned disaster into at least something decent. Tinker Owens, 83, the little reserve wide receiver, went down to make the tackle. The big lineman was up front in the blocking wedge. He let it go by, and it bounded by Harrell.
That was a very foolish play on his part. The lineman should have caught the ball and got the most out of the play as he possibly could. And I'm sure that the St. Louis Cardinals, like all teams, rehearsed that kind of a thing because they kicked the ball specifically to those up backs to make sure they can catch it. But he used bad judgment on the play.
First down, Cardinals under 22-yard line. Let's see if they're dominant in that line of scrimmage in the second half. Hart, give the postman Morris, 26-yard line. Wayne Morris, who in the first half had 75 yards, picks up about 3 or 4 more. Joe Fetterspiel, the middle linebacker, made the stop. Grooms, Fultz, Moore are up front. Reese playing right in. Bordelon, Fetterspiel, Mathis backing.
One thing they have to do against the Saints is to control the middle linebacker, Joe Fetterspiel, block him or run behind him because he overruns a lot of plays, and they're doing a good job of it here this afternoon.
This is 2nd and 6 for the Cardinals. From their 26, Otis Anderson. They took him high around the shoulders, brought him down to the 29-yard line. That was Don Reese of Jackson State. Used to be with the Dolphins. It'll be 3rd down. 3 to go. Cardinals ball. on their own 29. Steve comes in, a third wide receiver. Brown comes into the backfield. Morris is out. Tight end goes out. There's that Atlanta score over the Lions. 3 wide receivers. In motion. Now timeout. Whistle had blown. Somebody called a timeout down there. Maybe on the Saints. Too many men on the field, something like that. Saints called a timeout before the ball was snapped. They had 12 men on the field. It would have given the Cardinals the first down.
It's a good defense.
Timeout.
Yeah.
New Orleans.
The one
First
time they
one,
stopped
2
them.
remaining.
So a timeout on the field with the score. The St. Louis Cardinals 27, the New Orleans Saints nothing.
A super automotive value from Sears. Sears Heavy Duty 48 Shock. Designed for control and comfort. Now on sale at our lowest price of the year. Only $888 each. You save 30%.
No matter what you spend on tires, you know you can count on Sears. Sears Guardsman Bias Ply, our most economical tire. As low as $22.88.
At the home of the diehard.
Even a hard job doesn't have to be tough on your feet with Sears Cushion work shoes, and they're now on sale. Save $10 on work shoes with non-marking, oil-resistant rubber soles, Goodyear welt construction, heel-to-toe cushioned insoles, and genuine leather uppers. This Oxford just $26.99. Now through October 11th, save on Sears Cushion work shoes. They help keep a hard job from being tough on your feet. At Sears, where America shops for value.
Tuesday, Robert Conrad stars with Ross Martin in more Wild Wild West. Can our heroes stop Jonathan Winters from blowing up the world? A special movie premiere Tuesday night.
Green Bay leading Cincinnati 7-6 interconference game in the first quarter. Now, after that timeout by the Saints, we'll talk about that in just a moment. 3 wide receivers out there. It's 3rd down and 3. They're going to run it. They give it off to Anderson. He has the first down and more. And he's finally dropped to the 37. What happened out there, Hank? They got caught with too many men.
Well, they couldn't make a decision as to whether they should be in the flex or 4-3 or into the Oklahoma. They finally wound up in the Oklahoma, and they should realize that every time they get into Oklahoma in the passing situation, the St. Louis Cardinals run. They succeeded in making the first down every time they've done that, but they run against the Oklahoma and instead of pass, and they've done a great job with it.
Jim Hart, the veteran, flawlessly engineering this attack today. His team has been impeccable. They have a first down on their 37-yard line. I can see how they beat the Eagles last week, the way they played here today. No surprise if you're watching. There's that Morris. Morris spills over the 45 and out to the 47 or 8-yard line where he was tripped up by James Marshall. He's been good today, too.
Watch Fetterspiel, if we can see him on the screen. It's a cross block. They block Fetterspiel, 58. You see that? The left guard does a good job of blocking him. Joe Bostic. He blocks the middle linebacker, and if you block him in a 4-3 or the flex defense, you've got to make yardage unless the ball carrier has a heart attack going through the hole. Now, the Oklahoma defense is a 3-4 defense with 3 linemen, 4 linebackers, and 4 defensive backs.
First down, Cardinals again on their 48-yard line. They're ahead in this game, 27-0. Morris, 50-yard line. Hit there by Mike Foltz, the left tackle. Anderson has gained 92 yards. Wayne Morris has gained 92 yards. In that Cardinal backfield, the run has been their weapon today. They haven't needed to pass.
Well, they came into the game with the idea, I'm sure, of running the football to keep it away from New Orleans, because with Archie Manning and the fine core of receivers they have, they're very dangerous, and they've done a real good job of following through with the plan and maintaining possession of the football and controlling the game so far.
Second down, 8. St. Louis on the 50. They're in a slot formation. They split the big tight end out, the rookie Doug Marsh in Michigan. Pitch the ball to Anderson. He's to the 50, the 45, spins to the 40, goes down at the 38-yard line. Another first down for the St. Louis Cardinals. And Anderson should have his 11th 100-yard game of his still young career.
Doug March, the tight end, was split to the left and made a beautiful block on Ken Bordelon. Watch it right here. Watch this block. 87, Beautiful block from the outside in. Another good block by Morris downfield on Schwartz. Alex Price misses the tackle, and he makes another big game. But a beautiful block by Doug Marsh, the tight end who was split on the play.
Look at that, Hank. 104 yards. He had 151 last week. He partially dislocated a shoulder against San Francisco 3 weeks ago. First down, draw play. Anderson. Look at that cut. Started to the right and cut back, went over the 35 and got to the 32. Fultz took him.
That was a draw play. A fake draw to the fullback, handing off to the second back, Anderson. Good blocking on the right side. They did a good job of acting to pretend like it was a pass. Took the people to the outside and provided good running room for O.J. Anderson.
And Anderson down right now. We'll see what's the matter with him. With the score, 27-0 St. Louis.
Because Subaru doesn't think four-wheel drive is only for the rich, we present the open-back Subaru Brat, America's lowest price four-wheel drive fun car, and the Subaru Hatchback, America's lowest price four-wheel drive functional car. Both go from front to four-wheel drive at the flick of a lever, and both get more miles per gallon than any other four-wheel drive cars in America, the Subaru Hatchback and the Subaru No-Back.
All over America, do-it-yourselfers are becoming Stanley Super Doers. They're doing bigger things, and they're doing them better and better. They depend on Stanley tools for measuring things right, for shaping things right, for making joints fit right. Tools that work right are made by Stanley, the do-it-yourself company.
Stanley, we want to help you do things right.
For a super deal on the NFL Thermos jug and mugs, look for specially tagged Stanley tools.
O.J. Anderson ran into Don Schwartz, shaken up. He's on the bench, number 32. In his second year, how do you compare him with O.J. Simpson in his early years?
Well, they're different kind of runners. O.J. Anderson is a bigger, stronger kind of a runner. O.J. Simpson was a lightning guy that made big plays much faster.
This is the substitute for Anderson, Willard Harrell, over the 30 and just maybe along the first down chain line. But Reggie Mathis smacked him on the 28.5-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. The Cardinals have had this ball most of the afternoon. There's Willard Harrell. He's a tricky back. He's got some moves from Pacific. Chris Combs and Doug Marsh are in there. The double tight end. Mel Gray's come out. Time of possession in the first half, the Cardinals had the ball 20.5 minutes. 9.5 minutes for the Saints. And they're measuring for that first down. Short, inches short. Atlanta leading at the half. The Detroit Lions 34-6. Well, if you're going to knock somebody out of the undefeated ranks, that's the way to do it. 29-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. The Cardinals have the ball with a third down and inches to go. Morris on the left. That's Rod Phillips. Harrell, 25, escaping to the 20, still going. And he's the 15-yard line. Don Schwartz grabbed him around the jersey and pulled him down. Willard Harrell, he saw daylight outside and he found it.
They've run left on short yardage all afternoon. It's amazing that they haven't discovered that's what they're going to do. Watch the block inside. Morris throws a good block on Ricky Ray, number 22. Scampers down the far sideline. Schwartz, number 48, finally makes the tackle, but a good job of blocking at the point of attack by the double tight ends, specifically Chris Combs, number 80 on the left side, along with the left tackle Brad Oakes and Joe Bostic.
First down, Cardinals on the New Orleans 15-yard line. Wide receivers are back in again. Tilley and Gray. They're in a slot left formation. In motion is Morris. Ball is pitched to Harrell. Harrell's at the 15, cutting to the 10. He has speed, as you can see, to the outside, and is stopped along the 7.5-yard line by Don Schwartz. An amazing statistic in this game. The Cardinals have come up 8 times in the game with third down plays, and 8 times they've converted those plays into first down. 8 out of 8.
Doug Marsh that time was split. The tight end was split wide to the right side. Got another good block on Kenny Bordelon. And for that reason, the back was able to scamper outside and make a nice gain in the play.
They're on the 7.5-yard line. Jim Hannafin, the coach of the Cardinals. An enjoyable day for him so far. This club is really executing. Second down, 2.5 to go. The Cardinals grind it out. Moore hit that time. That's finally the first good hit we've seen. And that was Don Schwartz, number 48. The safety man, Ken Bordelon, sort of slowed the momentum down and helped him.
You're right. Schwartz really came up from the free safety position and did a great job on the play. There you see it. He's going off tackle, trying to get yardage, where Schwartz breaks through on the inside and makes the tackle.
They have a third down. 2 to go. Cardinals on the Saints 7-yard line. 7 minutes to play in the third quarter. Gray and Tilley are slotted to the right now. Tilley comes to the left. Hart's going to pass. Short one. Completed to Marsh, the tight end, and it doesn't go anywhere. Doug Marsh, the tight end, was running a crossing pattern. He was a little bit upset when he was taken down by Jim Marshall. Reggie Mathis also in on the play. Now we have a fourth coming. And 2 to go. And the Cardinals are going to get the field goal team on. Steve Little has kicked 1 out of 4. He had one last week, and they hope that's the start of some success for him.
James Marshall and Don Schwartz are playing the free safety and strong safety, respectively, for the veterans Myers and Ray Brown.
There's the drive up, and it's good by Steve Little. Oh, the Cardinals have scored again. With 6:13 to play in the third period. St. Louis 30, New Orleans nothing.
Ooh, new Subaru. Got the brains and the beauty too. Put together like a great car should. Oh, that Subaru sure looks good. Ooh, new Subaru. Got the brains and the beauty too. Subaru is today inexpensive and built to stay that way. Subaru got the brains and the beauty.
Now comes Miller time. The flag is dropped, the race is a memory. And now you're coasting into the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
If you got the time, if you got the time, we got the beer. If you got the time.
See same-day coverage of Mike Weaver's WBA Heavyweight Championship defense against second-ranked Harry Coetzee, Saturday, October 25th on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
18. Otis Anderson's on the bench. He was shaken up the last time he carried the ball. He has 110 yards and 18 carries. We're going to get the kickoff here in a minute. Rich Motti is deep. We wanted to talk to him about, he hadn't carried the ball as much this year as he had last year, and we'll do it after the kickoff. From Steve Little. Again, he's trying to kick it away from Motti, but Motti's there this time at the 5. He's out to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. Upended and goes down on his 25-yard line, Rich Motti. We asked Otis Anderson about the fact that he hadn't carried the ball and he thought maybe he was cheating the team.
A lot of times, 35, 40 times, I could do a lot of things with it, but when you get it back, I think of my talent, and you give the ball to him maybe 12, 15 times, you're not using him. You're not giving him the opportunity to really contribute to the team as he feels. And my feeling was the first couple of games, I didn't get a chance to run the ball that much, but under circumstances, we were behind. And I could live with the fact that I carried it 12, 15 times. But the fact is, I felt that I cheated the team, and I didn't really give them 110 or 120% that I was capable of giving.
Tony Galbraith carried the ball. That was the voice of Otis Anderson. As he was hit, he fumbled, and it's recovered by Tim Carney. Here's Anderson back in the game now. He's carried 18 times in this game. Second turnover in the Saints. You know, it's just a simple story. They can't do anything right, and the Cardinals can do nothing wrong. We'll be back here. St. Louis 30, New Orleans nothing.
told my Allstate agent I can't afford life insurance. Well, John, don't put marbles in the penny wrappers. He told us about one of Allstate's affordable life plans. For a 28-year-old, $50,000 of decreasing term insurance for about $11 a month. These pennies could pay for a couple of months. Well, John...
Well, you put your pennies in my marble jar.
Ask about Allstate Life's affordable life plans. You're in good hands with Allstate.
When you've got to rely on your vehicles, rely on AC Delco.
Work it. AC Delco.
AC Delco for AC fire ring spark plugs, AC filters, Delco shocks, and now a battery that's even tougher than Freedom, the maintenance-free Delco Freedom 2 with more efficient starting power.
AC Delco, working hard for you.
For over 50 years, hard-working people have relied on AC Delco parts for just about anything that moves.
AC Delco, working hard for you.
Division of General Motors.
She was an innocent, moonlighting in a tough business.
Escort service. Do you know what that really is?
I get paid to date.
Fear stalks Portrait of an Escort, Wednesday night.
Tony Galbraith. There he is, 34. He feels badly. He just fumbled the ball, came in, carried it, and the Cardinals have it right back again. They've had this ball about 85% of the time in the game, and they're in possession again at the St. 28-yard line with a 30-0 lead. Otis Anderson is back in the game. He already has a 100-yard ball game. And his partner, Wayne Morris, is nearly there. He's in the 90s. They're in that I formation now. Instead of the standard setup, pro setup. Here's Anderson at the 30. Cutting back. Look at that escape. No! He's at the 25. He goes down there, but Eloy Scrooms, the big end, chased him across the field. But that's the kind of lateral moves he has.
Yes, and you don't think Eloy Scrooms has good speed. Watch the way he pursues Anderson. Watch, Anderson goes to the right. He's stuffed on the strong side. No place to go. Says, whoops, go back the other way. Mike Fultz had a chance to make the tackle. Watch Eloy Scrooms, number 78. Here he comes. The defensive left end makes a beautiful tackle from the backside.
You compared, I asked you to compare and gave you a tough question. Compare Otis Anderson, a young Otis Anderson, a young O.J. Simpson. You made Anderson. You made 1 point on Simpson. Was his lightning speed. He might have escaped outside that time.
Yes, and of course, Anderson is a better inside, better traffic runner than O.J. Simpson.
And a pass out to the flank just goes for a yard or two. That's Anderson, who was waiting out there for the ball, and he's inside the 24. Grooms nailed him again. So now they're down to a 3rd and 6, the Cardinals, on the Saint. There's the reception figures for O.J. Anderson. He can go out and catch it, too.
And the other thing with the two runners, really, that Anderson is a flat-footed runner. O.J. Simpson was a tap dance runner. He was up on the balls of his feet and did a great job of moving, especially when he saw daylight.
Let me ask you something, Coach. Would you take them both in the same backfield in their prime?
I've got the contracts ready to sign them.
All right. 3rd down 6. Theotis Brown replaces Wayne Morris in the Cardinal backfield.
Blitz.
Blitz on. That's right. The pass is thrown away, and it's completed inside the 20 to Mark Bell. Marshall hit him then. I mean, Hart was throwing under pressure. He really had to get rid of it.
They had a blitz on that time. One back stays in the block. He jumps out of the pocket. Bordelon slides off the block, number 50, but he still, in spite of that, got the ball inside. Really a beautiful throw under duress and made the reception.
I believe they're short. And they finally mark it. If they're short, it can't be more than an inch. The receiver caught the ball. And it's an inch short. Dave Washington's on. The crowd's yelling something.
They're yelling go, and they're definitely going to go for it.
Doug Marsh is back in, a double tight end setup.
With less than a yard to go, usually with inches, usually the offensive team will call a quarterback sneak.
4th down and an inch to go. Morris angling out. He may not have it. Depends where his forward motion stopped. James Marshall carried him out of bounds.
That's an unusual call because with an inch, the quarterback ought to just get a little nudge from the center and ought to be able to make the yardage. Anytime you go sideways, you've got a chance that you won't make it. And that's exactly what happened on the play.
Anytime you go wide, you've got a chance of losing.
Yeah, here we go. They're going to the right side. Anderson gets a good block on Chapman.
They fail to make it.
When I looked at Datsun 280ZX and Porsche 924, I also looked at this new Mazda RX-7, and that's all it took.
Just one look, that's all it took. Yeah, just one look, that's all it took.
You get a lot of refined sports car with the Mazda RX-7. You also get great mileage, and you get it all at a price that'll really make you look twice.
Yeah, the more you look, the more you like.
Here's another Radio Shack major computer breakthrough. The amazing new TRS-80 Pocket Computer, only $249. Imagine a basic language computer that weighs just 6 ounces. Now carry TRS-80 power in your pocket while traveling, on the job, solve problems, process data, and store it in permanent memory for instant recall. The amazing TRS-80 Pocket Computer, only at Radio Shack, the biggest name in little computers.
Saints have held. They'll take over their own 19-yard line. Their deepest penetration of this game has been to the Cardinal 45-yard line.
You know, and Bill Acker, the young rookie from the University of Texas, number 67, who is 6'6", 255, he's doing a good job on the nose of the center.
Guy Benjamin flares it out to Mike Strawn at the 20, 25. Strawn going at the 30. First down, stopped at the 36-yard line. And he's hit there by Roger Worley, the cornerback.
Guy Benjamin throwing a screen pass to Mike Strawn on the outside. Emmanuel Sanders, number 79, is out in front along with Hill. Good blocking at the point of attack. Good running by Mike Strawn. Good for 17 yards and a good pickup. 1st and 10.
Call it their 35. Score 30-0. St. Louis in the lead. 3 minutes to play in the third period. In that eye again. The pitch is to Strawn. Strawn cuts back. Piled up at the 38-yard line of the Saints. Worley, the cornerback, came up quickly, and the young nose tackle, Bill Acker. He's replaced Dawson, who's out for the year with a leg injury, and Acker stepped right in and is doing a job.
Bill Acker that time is on the nose of the center. Watch him, number 67. John Hill is trying to maintain leverage on him, but he loses the block. Watch Acker go into the side and make the tackle. Good pursuit angle by Bill Acker.
Ike Harris spreads to the right, Chandler to the left. And they haven't been able to get the ball to Chandler today. Now he's being chased. He throws a screen, and it goes for a loss. That was Tony Galbraith. Arneson, the linebacker, was rushing Benjamin hard. They were trying to let him come in to set up the screen, but they let him come in too quickly.
Yes, here you see the fake inside, and it wasn't a very good fake. He fakes to Galbraith and fakes left, comes back to... Watch Galbraith suck this ball out of the air with a one-handed catch. He really shouldn't have caught the ball. He'd been better off not to catch it, but it was a beautiful catch. One-handed catch by Tony Galbraith. -6 on the play.
3rd and 13 for the New Orleans Saints. 5 secondary backs in there for the Cardinals. Minute 40 to go in the third period. Benjamin again throws it down the middle, right into the arms of Carl Allen, and Allen twice today has had the ball in his arms and dropped them both. Last Sunday, he made a great catch and ran at 70 for a touchdown.
Well, the ball was low, and evidently what he did, the reason he dropped it probably was the fact that he was anxious to run before he caught it. And that happens when you try to catch the ball low like he did there. It was about waist high, and it's hard to miss a ball like that unless you take your eye off.
Ertzleben boots one up, nearly hits the gondola up there. Mark Bell has it on the 16 to the 20, getting some blocking, and then suddenly goes down on his 27-yard line. Ertzleben's been kicking that ball high. He's had some real hang time.
But the other thing is, you know, he's kicking the ball so far that he's out kicking the coverage.
He's had 4 punts in the first half for 45. Here's his kick.
He's got great follow-through. He's long-legged, gets the ball up high above his head, and that's why he gets the ball so high. Plus the fact that he keeps the ball very close to his body. He does not extend his arms and reach for the ball like most kickers do.
Cardinals ball on their 27. First down. They're leading 30-0. They have the only score of this third period, a field goal. Look at Hart, 8 out of 9. That was a 46-yard punt from scrimmage for Ertz Laban. Back it goes on a screen. That's Pat Tilley. And the play goes not so much. Fetterspiel was right over there to help smother the attempted screen pass to the wide receiver.
And that time again, Dan Deerdorf pulled on the screen to the right side and threw a good block, even though the play was not successful. The pursuit came over and made the play. But Deerdorf really did his job as far as pulling and knocking out the cornerback on the play.
Reggie Mathis is down. We have 1 minute and 7 seconds to go in the third period. New England moving along 21-6. The Jets have yet to win a game. And now Green Bay leading Cincinnati 14-6 in the second period. Miami ahead of Baltimore 17-10. Miami's lost only once. Mathis gingerly coming over toward the Saint bench. He'll be replaced by Dave Washington. Saints are off to their slowest start since '72, and they dropped their first 5. They tied and finally won in week 6. And unless the Saints put on a miracle rally today, they're going to lose their first 5 of this year. Cardinals ball on the Cardinals 29, first down. Cardinal fans should be feeling good the way their club has played. Oh, there goes a motion. Flags are down. That was Tilley who broke the signal count and started with a false start. Now you think Hart, what's Hart saying to himself there? Maybe Hart did something wrong in the signal count.
Well, evidently what happened, Pat Tilley did not hear the snap count or the rhythm on the outside and jumped offside, and they're penalized and assessed 5 yards. But that's usually what happened when it's so definitely such a flagrant call. Because he jumped, he was way offside, and there was no question about the fact that he jumped.
Well, things could happen. Last week on Anderson's touchdown run in the final quarter.
Offside number 83.
You can see that. Look at him go. And it was a busted play. An audible call at the line. Anderson didn't know whether it was to be a handoff or a pitch out. Hart gave him the ball, and all Anderson did on a busted play was run for a touchdown. 3 linemen up front, 4 linebackers, 4 defensive backs to set up for the Saints. The incomplete pass is denied.
They've run against this consistently well.
Steve is in, 3 wide receivers. Hart steps up in the pocket with a flag down, throws to Anderson, and he can't hold on to it. Might be a holding against the Cardinals. I believe it is.
Yeah, they'll refuse it and get possession of the football.
And you know, the Cardinals have they haven't turned the ball over, and they've had very few penalties.
Offensive holding, number 51, declined.
Rahaney, the center. That's the first Cardinal punt coming up now. That's how good they've been in offense and how much they've controlled the game. Rich Monty's the safety man. The punter is Larry Swider. He's averaged 41 a kick. The last 38 seconds of the third period. Picked it off right off the foot and went into the end zone.
Incredible. It's incredible that you could make a catch like that as it comes off the kicker's foot. Watch it. Somebody blew a block. It comes right through there free as a bird. And his hands were coming down as the ball hit the number. Made a beautiful, sensational play. Alex Price, number 75. And the Saints finally get on the scoreboard with a block kick.
That's the best handoff I've ever seen from a punter's foot. Benny Ricardo for the extra point. The Saints finally on the scoreboard. Price is happy. Man, all I know, there was a ball in my hands. I'm scoring. Ricardo kicks it. Let's see if this gives the Saints a lift. Watch this other angle. You'll very rarely see something like this.
And the amazing thing was, he gets his hands up, and right about the time they're coming down, the ball is in his tummy, puts the hands down, sucks it up, and goes 19 yards for the touchdown. Beautiful
we've
play.
seen the Saints, Hank, block 2 kicks now on Miami's last play, 16 seconds to go last Sunday, and then Price takes it off the punter's foot and runs it in.
There was definitely a missed assignment by one of the offensive linemen up front because nobody touched Alex Price, and that's why he was able to get the free release, got a good angle on the kick, got in good position in front of the kick instead of going beyond it, and that's why he was able to make that play.
The special teams of the Saints on 4th down have been their best offense this year. Marty blocked the kick against the Dolphins that nearly gave the Saints the win. It was acknowledged there was no pass interference in the last play of the game where the Saints had a touchdown apparently. So the Cardinals had shut them out. 32 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Now it's 30-7. And Benny Ricardo will kick off. To either Green or Harrell. And it comes to the 5-yard line. Harrell's out with it over the 20, still going. 25, nearly fumbled the ball along the way. Jimmy Rogers dropped him there, number 41 on the special teams, the rookie. 1st down, Cardinals. It'll be on their own 28-yard line when they put the ball in play. Crowd was almost grousing here. Little lane back, nothing happening. Cardinals controlling the line of scrimmage, had the ball the entire game, owned the scoreboard here at the Superdome, and then one electrifying play sort of woke them up and gave them some kind of a faint hope.
This is the first time really they've showed any enthusiasm all afternoon, and the Cardinals, it's very important that they move the ball on this drive, even though they're ahead by such a large margin.
Otis Anderson is taken out of bounds at the 29-yard line by Don Swartz. Safety men, Marshall, Swartz, suddenly coming alive in that same secondary are coming up fast and making some hard hits now on the Cardinal running back, something the Saints needed in the first half. They're looking up at that clock. 2nd down, 9 to go. 17 seconds remain in the 3rd period.
The only chance the Saints have to really get back into this game is to do something like they did and make an interception, create a fumble, get some big plays by their defense, and provide good field position for their offense.
And they get to Hart. Derlin Moore, 74, sacks him.
They've come to life, and St. Louis better be careful because they've got a lot of time left in the ball game. We've seen a lot of crazy things happen in 15 minutes, Kurt, as you know.
That's the first yardage lost by the Cardinals today. Here comes Moore, 74, and he went right by that blocker and took the quarterback. That'll be the last play of the 3rd period.
Joe Bostic was blocking Derlin Moore that time and didn't succeed in getting the job done.
There's the end of the 3rd quarter in the Louisiana Superdome with the score, St. Louis 30 and Orleans 7. We now pause for a word from your local station.
Monday, Richard Thomas stars in To Find My Son, inspired by...
Archie Manning injured his throwing arm. He said he sprained it in warm-up before the game started, the triceps of his right arm. Hank Stram coached him and said he's had that trouble before.
Well, he had trouble with his right arm in '76. He didn't even play it down for us, and then they had to have an operation and remove some foreign matter in the arm. He hasn't had any trouble since, but evidently he hurt it today in practice.
On the 20-yard line of the Cardinals, their ball, Kurt Gowdy and Hank Stram as we open the fourth period. Third down and long. The pass coming out to Theodis Brown, and he escapes. He ran it somewhere out of that backfield and got away from Jim Marshall, who finally pulled him down from behind. Theodis Brown's an excellent pass catcher for a running back.
They were in a zone defense that time, and the backs crossed is all they did. There you see one back goes one way, Anderson. Brown comes underneath, man-for-man coverage. The linebacker slipped and fell. He scampered down the sideline. Big gain, first down, St. Louis.
That play covered 22 yards. Some surprises today. One of the biggest. Seattle 26, Houston nothing. 4 field goals by Herrera in that game. Doug Marsh is in at tight end on a first down play. The rookie hitting up the middle. Quick twister by Wayne Morris. Mike Fultz brought him down at the 45-yard line of the Cardinals. They'll have a second down 6. Pittsburgh winning again, beating the Vikings 23-3. There's that Seattle. That's a surprise. Houston not scoring, and Campbell's playing, Hank.
Yeah, that's amazing. And especially so since Seattle really hasn't been that good effective defensively.
Let's check the yardage of Wayne Morris. He may be around 100. Otis Anderson's already made 100. The Cardinals could have 200-yard rushers in this game. There's Wayne Morris, 92 yards. 95 officially now. 95. He needs 5 more. Otis Anderson changing direction over the 50 to the Saint 49. Close to the first down.
Jim Hart is like Virgin operating against that flex defense of the New Orleans Saints. The linemen are off the line of scrimmage, the defensive end that is, on the flex defense, and they're running right at the flex area and getting a good push. And you got a natural hole there to begin with, and the linemen are coming off the ball extremely well. Anderson is picking his way and picking up good yardage.
Anderson now has gained 115 yards and 20 carries. Nearly 6 yards a carry. Morris has 95 yards and 20 carries. So Hart's gone to them both. Each man has run the ball 20 times. Morris has been running mostly inside, Hart outside. And look at Jim Hart. Not big yardage, but just pecking away with what they give him, the short ones. 10 out of 13. And the Cardinals have converted every third down situation into a first down. First down here on the 49-yard line of the Saints.
They should run to the, well, here they go left again. See, they keep running at that bubble, and the bubble meaning that a lineman is off the line of scrimmage about 2 feet, 2 or 3 feet, and all the offensive lineman has to do is come off the ball, get a good surge, knock him off that position, and the ball carrier does the rest.
It'll be second down 5.
And when we talk about a flex position, we mean basically that the lineman will be off the ball about 2 or 3 feet. If he isn't in the flex, he's on the line of scrimmage. If he's in the flex, he's off about 2 or 3 feet. And it's very obvious when you look at the defensive picture and see that people on or off the line of scrimmage.
Anderson's on the left side. Morris on the right side behind Hart.
They got a blitz.
There goes Morris on a draw. He just crossed the 45 and reached the 44 of the Saints. Mike Fultz ran into him there. He had a blitz on. It's an excellent call against the blitz, but the blitzing man went right by the ball carrier.
Yes, and that time you see they got out of the flex because they wanted to rush the passer, anticipating. So everybody was on the line of scrimmage that time to provide a good rush. Normally, the flex does not present a good rush picture because 2 linemen are off the line of scrimmage. There, the blitz was on, and you see Mike Fultz, number 72, finally making a tackle.
Third down and 5 for the St. Louis Cardinals in a slot right. Theodis Brown in the backfield. Steve going in motion. Third wide receiver. Hart gets it to Otis Anderson at the 40. Trying to get that first down. He has it. He's at the 35-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. Clarence Chapman finally nailed him. But Anderson flared out, took the pass, and picked up the first down.
3-man rush. He goes back into the pocket. The back is on the right side on a linebacker, man for man. He just throws the ball out here to Anderson. He's got a lot of room, a big cushion. Does a little dance there. Finally goes to the outside, knows where the marker is, knows that he has to make the first down, and he does. 1st and 10, St. Louis.
The Saints are trailing 30-7. They have scored on a blocked punt, but you can't score when you don't have the ball. And the Cardinals have had the ball nearly the entire game.
Look at the defensive right end now. See if they run to the left this time. The defensive end is way off the line of scrimmage. Here they go.
Hitting straight forward. Willard Harrell. He's to the 32. Reggie Mathis. Joe Fetterspiel tackle him there.
We got a good picture of the flex that time. You saw the defensive end, Don Reese, number 60, off the line of scrimmage. There we see him on the right side. You see how far off the line of scrimmage he is. See the big cavity. And then he finally goes, retreats, and then comes back on the inside and makes the tackle.
Cardinals with Dick Nolan looking on, hoping his club can stop them somehow. Had the ball on the same 32-yard line. They put the tight end out of the wide receiver.
Going to run outside.
They are. There's a charge for you. Number 50 comes in, Ken Bordelon, and makes the hit. He had that one all smelled out. And he stopped Willard Harrell, number 39, before he could even move.
That time in the past, they run that play from that formation, and the tight end was able to block Bordelon. That time, Bordelon blitzed on the play. The tight end had no chance to make the block. Nobody touched Bordelon. That's why he was able to make that play.
3 wide receivers check in. Gray, Mark Bell, and Dave Steep. 3-4-4 for the Saints. 3rd down, 13. St. Louis's ball, they're leading 30-7. They led 27-0 at the half. He's going for the bomb. Mark Bell batted away. Right down there with him, Jim Marshall.
Dave Steef that time, 84, was really wide open in the middle area that time. Hart made up his mind he was going to throw the ball deep downfield to Mark Bell. Had good time that time. Threw it over the top with the idea of getting a big play. Covered well by Clarence Chapman, and he's by far the best defensive back they have.
Oh, another punt formation. And can the Saints block another one? Larry Swider. They've got 9 men up there. They're going after him. They nearly get to him. This kick is bounding around, out of bounds. A lovely boot for Mr. Swider. The Saints will be pinned back on their 6-yard line when they take over with a timeout. We have 9:28 remaining in this game, and the Cardinals lead 30-7.
We'd like to introduce the 1981 American Motor Spirit.
Pretty's not enough anymore, mister.
You're right, but Spirit's more than good looking. Spirit takes you farther on 1 tank of gas than any American subcompact, over 480 miles.
That's about from here to town.
Spirit's the tough American, with galvanized steel in 100% of the exterior body panels, and the exclusive buyer protection plan.
You may have something here.
The 1981 Spirit, built to last from American Motors.
Watch out. Winter's almost here, and wind's gonna get you, and cold's gonna get you, and high fuel bills are gonna get you, because you still haven't added more insulation to your attic. So do it now. Get more Owens Corning fiberglass insulation and add another layer to put your house in the pink. See your dealer or contractor. Buy more Owens Corning fiberglass insulation now, before winter gets you.
The NBA champion Lakers take their magic show to Seattle to battle the Supersonics next Friday night, 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central on CBS Sports.
Kurt Gowdy and Hank Stram, New Orleans ball on their 6-yard line, 1st down. The best defense today has been the Cardinals offense. They've had the ball 38 minutes in this game. New Orleans has had it 12 minutes. Trying a running play. Tony Galbraith crosses the 10 to the 11-yard line. Pickup of 5. It'll be 2nd down 5 for New Orleans. They're just trying to get some breathing room there. With some kind of an offense going. Backup quarterback Guy Benjamin, if you joined us late, is playing here in the 2nd half. Archie Manning sprained his passing arm. Mike Strawn and Tony Galbraith are the running backs. They've decided to go with those two. Baltimore's tied Miami. Here's a draw play. Mike Strong. Strong brought down. They'll spot him down on the 12-yard line with Carney and Niels on the hit. Benjamin's third year from Stanford, long line of quarterbacks. They've got a good one out there now. John Elway, just a sophomore. Denver is ahead of Cleveland, 16-13. That's been a battle of field goals out there. They're up there. Third down. 4 yards to go for the New Orleans Saints. Benjamin will throw for the first down. They have the rush on him. Look out from behind. He throws it on the run. It's picked off at the 20. With the ball is Ken Green. Green's out of bounds. Green, the safety man, has just intercepted his 4th pass of the season, and he leads the Cardinals, and that starts some of the fans for the exits. Ken Green. He returned to 12 yards.
Here's Guy Benjamin going into the pocket. He is not extremely quick-footed or very fast. He jumps out of the pocket. They're in hot pursuit. He throws the ball on the run. And the only guy that was really open on the play was Ken Green, 37. He makes the interception, goes to the right side, and is finally knocked out of bounds.
So it's 30-7 when we return.
There goes another gas station. Are they ever going to stop?
The Corolla Tercel, Toyota's lowest price car, gets such good gas mileage that for some, it could be a problem.
I got to stop at a gas station. Wow, we haven't had to stop for gas in hours. We haven't stopped for anything. Do you know why I bought this front-wheel drive Toyota? A wild guess at the gas mileage. I'll stop, but I don't have to because this is Toyota's highest mileage car. And Lester, oh, what a feeling. High mileage. Toyota.
Taste Sheridan. Taste Sheridan. Come to a Sheridan. I love the taste of Sheridan's.
You're gonna love every inch of the place. We've got taste.
Sheridan, you've got taste.
We've got style.
For a taste of Sheridan worldwide, call 800-325-3535.
We've got taste!
Next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern, see the Beauty and the Beast. International gymnastics and the world's strongest men next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
Here's the pass now coming up from Guy Benjamin. As Hank Stram said, he hit the only open man, and that was on the opponent's Ken Green. Watch him throw that right into his arms. Green runs it back 12 yards, and when play resumes, the Cardinals have the ball on the 15-yard line of the Saints. A lot of folks have gone for those exits, Hank. Straight ahead. Theodis Brown. Flag is down.
Counter play up the middle at Theodis Brown, trying to get the middle linebacker to go outside and then run up the middle. It was holding on the play.
You know, Hank, he's pretty good looking backup man there to have. He's big and strong and a good pair of hands to go out and catch passes.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about him is he's big and he's strong and he runs hard, plus the fact that he catches well.
Offensive holding, number 51, first down.
That's on Brahaney, the center. That's twice he's been nabbed for holding. So that puts the ball on the same 25-yard line, brings up a 1st and 20. There's Tom Brahaney. He just voted the all-time center of the decade of the 70s by the University of Oklahoma. Look at that stat, total yards, 332 to 78. Amazing because the Saints usually are a good offensive team. 1st and 20 for the Cardinals. Hart. Incomplete, intended for Mel Gray. Flag is down once more. Dylan Moore may have done something this time.
Holding St. Louis again. Looked like it was called on Joe Bostic, number 71.
10 10 more marked off as back the Cardinals go.
Offensive holding, 71, still first down.
You had it, Hank. Joe Bostic. So it's 1st and 30. 35-yard line of the Saints. Cardinals in possession, leading 30-7. 7:54 remaining. A lot of surprises today. Atlanta now leading the Lions 36-6. Gary Danielson just tackled for a safety. He's coughed up 2 fumbles that the Falcons ran back for touchdown. Not a good day for Gary Danielson. That ball batted down on a hard rush by Mike Fultz, number 72. And the Cardinals are in their little melee. Don Reese came in, number 60. Fultz
deflected the ball, it looked like, number 74. Nothing serious happening. Boys will be boys. That falls in that category. Here you see Fultz knocking the ball down. And it looked like Bordelon was knocked into the quarterback, and one of the offensive linemen thought it was an intentional thing when it really wasn't, and so no flag was caught or dropped on the play.
2nd down, 30. St. Louis on the New Orleans 35-yard line. Out it goes. Anderson has it at the 35, cutting back at the 30, twisting and fumbles the ball. Who's got it? The Saints? Ricky Ray may have come up with it. Depends whether the ball is whistled dead.
I think they declared the ball dead. I don't know. Let's see what they call.
They're going to call it dead at the 27 of New Orleans.
That's an option. They have a chance to either hit the flanker or hit the quick screen. They hit the quick screen on the outside. Anderson's cuts back inside. The ball is kind of loose. As he hit the ground, the ball was dropped, and it looked really like it was a fumble. Really did.
Well, a quick whistle. 3rd down. 22 yards to go. Hart throws on the run, and he threw into heavy traffic. A flag is down again.
Looks like they met a rough. Call something on St. Louis, it looks like.
Might be an ineligible receiver downfield.
I think that's what they, yeah. Looks like it might have been, Kurt.
Yeah. We had a lot of busy things happening on that play. Hart, first of all, had to throw on a run with a rush. He threw into heavy traffic, 3 defenders, but he got the ball there, and then the flags went down. I think the Cardinals might have had an ineligible receiver downfield. Somebody left and went down, tackle to tackle.
Ineligible member of the passing team downfield. Penalty will be refused, and it will be 4th down.
That defines it all. 4th down, 22 yards to go. 30-7. St. Louis on its way to its 2nd win of the year against 3 losses. And the Saints on their way to their 5th loss in a row. Steve Little will try a 36-yard field goal. He's kicked a 24-yarder earlier. Oh, he's now out of 2 for 6. This one is up, and it is perfect. Steve Little on the beam. Has hit 3 field goals in a row the last 2 weeks. Kid needs some confidence, and his teammates congratulate him. That makes the score. With the timeout, the St. Louis Cardinals 33 and the New Orleans Saints 7.
This ranch doesn't run without horses, and the horses don't run without you.
Oh, he's a sweetheart.
But when you've hammered out another day's work, you meet up with Miller Time.
If you got the time.
Time for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer since 1855, Miller High Life.
Miller, tastes too good to hurry through. When it's time to relax, we've got the beer.
Oh, feels good.
There's the score and the time. Motti, Galbraith, and Rogers are deep. Receive the kickoff. Steve Little will boot it. The Eagles now have extended their lead 24-7 over Washington. Pittsburgh over Minnesota 23-10. Denver and Cleveland are tied. Third period, 16 all. And the kick is to Motti. Out he comes. Spun down on the 27-yard line. Orleans ball, first down, the tackle by Ken Stone, covering on the kickoff. I've been impressed with the Cardinals secondary today. They were bombed out in their opening game against the Giants, who riddled them. San Francisco beat them in overtime with the passing of DeBerg, but the Cardinals have shaken up that secondary, Hank.
Yes, and I think Tom Bettis has really done an outstanding job with them, talking about the young people, Tim Collier, Roger Worley, of course, the old veteran, Roy Green, and Ken Green.
Benjamin, the Strawn, Mike Strawn, tackled at the line of scrimmage in the 28-yard line. They're going nowhere. Tim Carney made the hit. The New York Jets and New England Patriots 21-9. And the story on this one, we understand, Hank. Grogan, the leading passer in the American Conference, taken out in the second period for ineffectiveness. Backup Mike Cavanaugh put in, and he's guided the club since.
He did an excellent job, I should say, in preseason. They like him very much, and I think anytime he has an opportunity to play, he's going to do well. And you have to be very impressed with Jim Hannafin's team here this afternoon. They've done an excellent job offensively, defensively, with their specialty teams. And they're coming on strong.
Here's a deep one to Williams. It is broken up. He was double teamed there. Brooks Williams, the tight end, with the two Greens, Kenny Green and Roy Green, the safety men, doubling up on him and batting the ball away. 3rd and 10 for New Orleans from their 28.
And Kenny Green has good size. He's 6'3", 203 from Washington State. A 3-year pro, is 24 years old. And, of course, Ray Green is 5'11", 190 from Henderson State, 2-year pro, and he's only 23. So there are a couple of fine-looking young prospects.
33-7. St. Louis Cardinals leading. They led at the half, 27-0.
Look at this, Kurt. The Cards are 10 of 16 on conversions, and the Saints have converted 0 of 6 on third down.
See what this one's about. Oh, the clock went 1 second too fast. They made him move it back. 1 second. Nice catch out there. Tony Galbraith caught the ball. As Hank Stram said, he can grab him, but he's way short of the first down. The Cardinals are giving him the short ones, and that's it.
Calvin Favron that time did a good job of covering and making the tackle, number 59.
Here's Erxleben, the punt. He's averaging well over 40 yards a kick. Mark Bell, he averaged 46 yards a kick. Sort of shanked that one. I think it was partially blocked, rolled around, and is out of bounds in Cardinal territory. We have a timeout now here in the Superdome with a score St. Louis 33 and New Orleans 7.
Because Subaru doesn't think four-wheel drive is only for the rich, we present the open-back Subaru Brat, America's lowest-priced four-wheel drive fun car, and the Subaru Hatchback, America's lowest-priced four-wheel drive functional car. Both go from front to four-wheel drive at the flick of a lever, and both get more miles per gallon than any other four-wheel drive cars in America, the Subaru Hatchback and the Subaru No-Back.
Sorry, no experience, no job.
But where do I get the experience?
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. We don't ask for experience, we give it. You won't read it in a book, you live it. Pick a service, pick a challenge, set yourself apart. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. What a great place, it's a great place to start.
Kurt, you want to hear an incredible stat? Look at this. Cardinals have had 72 offensive plays, Saints 28.
I've never seen a club dominate, keep the ball on the clock and the number of offensive plays the way the Cardinals have today. They did it right from their opening drive of 88 yards.
It's hard to keep it that long in the pregame warm-up.
That's right. 45-yard line of the Cardinals, their ball. They're leading 33-7. And we have a new quarterback in there, Mike Lloyd, the backup man, second-year quarterback from Missouri.
Derlin Moore that time, number 74, made the tackle from his defensive right tackle position, but not until after he made a good gain on the play.
That's Harrell in there. They're starting to sift the second stringers in there. He went to the 48-yard line of New Orleans. Chris Combs, the second string tight end, is in. Mark Bell, a backup wide receiver. Jim Hart, the veteran, done another great job today, 13 out of 18. All he did was take that club and eat the clock up all afternoon. Harrell again. Harrell trying to scoot outside, and he has the first down as he goes out of bounds to stop the clock with under 5 minutes to go. Reggie Mathis drove him out.
And they continue to run at that flex defense with the end off the line of scrimmage. They've made sizable gains all afternoon, and they continue to run at it, and the Saints are still in that same defense.
Minnesota rallies against the Steelers, and Baltimore took the lead against Miami.
That's the 24th first down.
Well, I said earlier, the best defense they've had today has been their offense. First down on the 43-yard line of the Saints. Wayne Morris rolls over the 40 and gets to the 37-yard line of New Orleans.
And that time the fleck was on the right side. They attacked the right side and picked up another nice gain.
He must be around 100 yards, Wayne Morris. Otis Anderson's gone over 100 yards. They've taken him out now here in the late minutes, 4.5 to go. He does. Wayne Morris has 102 yards. Otis Anderson, I'll check his yardage. He had over 100. So the Cards had two backs today who went over 100 yards rushing. Anderson 126. That time it's Theodis Brown banging to the 33-yard line. Sims came into this game the leading ball carrier in the league. Second was Montgomery of the Eagles, and third was Otis Anderson. But Anderson, last week, this week, keeps up those kind of performances. He'll be back right in there again. He broke the all-time rookie rushing record last year, which had been set the year before by Earl Campbell.
You know, Kurt, we saw him against San Francisco, and I must be honest and say that he really was not very impressive looking in that game. He didn't look like himself, but evidently he came into his own last week, and of course he's been very impressive in our game today, and looks like he did a year ago.
36-13 now, Atlanta. Billy Sims got his real welcome today to the NFL. Hankey's carried the ball 14 times and gained 21 yards. But he's already off to a dazzling rookie season. First down, St. Louis on the 33-yard line of the Saints. 33-7, Cardinals. Theodis Brown over the 30, still going, 25, and is to the 20, the 19-yard line. Don Schwartz tackled him. Looked like they had him stop cold back at the 25.
But it goes right back to what I've said earlier, Kurt. Anytime that you can handle Joe Fetterspiel, the middle linebacker, watch him. They block him good on the play. The back runs right by him before he realizes what took place, tries to get back into the play. Lewis Grooms has a good shot, misses, and Schwartz finally makes the tackle, number 48.
That play covered 14 yards, and three Saints had him stopped.
Yes.
And he burst loose from all three of them.
But there was good blocking at the point of attack, and they got Fetterspiel, and that was the key to the play.
First down, St. Louis on the Saints 20. Big hole open again, and Theodis Brown barges to the 11-yard line. Don Swartz, safety man, tackles him. We're down now to 2:45 to play. Cardinals have it tucked away by a score of 33-7.
Mike Lloyd is having fun at quarterback. Each time he winds up with 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, and that makes it a lot of fun from his position standpoint, because it's fun to be a quarterback when you have that kind of a situation.
Fun to be a coach too there.
Oh yeah, yeah. When you're winning like this, it's fun. Everything's fun.
How about on the other sideline?
Sadness. A lot of sadness in the air.
Second down, 1.5 yards to go for the Cardinals. Harrell outside, touchdown for Willard Harrell. He just saw the middle plugged up and said, boys, let's go out. And the way he went, he scooted right into the end zone, and the Cardinals are pouring it on. An awesome ground game today for St. Louis. They used to be known as the Cardiac Kids.
Watch, they run to the, up the middle, breaks to the outside. It was all plugged up, sees the running room, no contest, walks the dog right into the end zone, touchdown. And the Cardinals now have 302 yards rushing for the afternoon.
It's a big day on the ground in pro football. The kick is good by Steve Little. He's been perfect today, too. Outside of one punt that was blocked, the Cardinals have played a flawless game. They lead the New Orleans Saints now with 2:11 to go by the score of 40-7.
And the great thing about the Cardinals, as I mentioned earlier, they've had fumble problems. They haven't fumbled at all here today. Lost a fumble.
Well, they've just been almost perfect. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, a perfect match, Alice and the Jeffersons. And CBS starts with a new edition of 60 Minutes. And Linda Kelsey stars in a perfect match, Alice and the Jeffersons, all tonight on CBS. Let's take a look at that touchdown again, the change of direction by Willard Harrell, Hank.
Goes straight ahead. The play was intended to go straight ahead. It's all clogged up. He goes to the outside, sees running room, take advantage of it. A good block downfield on Clarence Chapman, number 24, by the outside receiver. It looked like it might have been Pat Tilley, and he goes all the way in for the touchdown.
Again, the Saints receive. That's one thing they've had today, a lot of practice of receiving kickoffs. Little boots it deep. He's getting them in the end zone from the 35. Monty downs it.
Hi, Glenda.
That's what they want that kicker to do. That's why they changed the rule and kicked off from the 35. They were killing the kickoff return in pro football because of the strength of these soccer kickers and these place kickers who were coming into the game. They're booting every kick into the end zone. There were no more returns. This is not the worst loss by New Orleans. It happened in '73 when Atlanta beat New Orleans 62-7 in Atlanta. But this is one they'll want to forget. 2:05 to go, 40-7 St. Louis. The Saints ball with Guy Benjamin at quarterback. Blitz. Pass is no good. Number 33, Mike Strong, couldn't hold on to it. And there's the 2-minute warning.
Here's the running back, the background of what happened here this afternoon. Anderson, look at that, 126 yards and 22 carries. Morris, 102 and 22 carries. Harrell, 47 and 8. And Brown, 27 and 6. Very impressive.
Awesome ground game. We'll be back in the Superdome right after this.
Presenting the 1980 Subaru. Its chiseled lines use the air it drives through to hold it to the road. But Subaru is even beautiful in places you can't see. There's front-wheel drive, independent suspension, 2 separate brake line circuits, and electronic sensors notify the driver when a brake light is amiss or a door is ajar. Look into Subaru. See the beauty of our logic. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
Introducing the revolutionary twin-action shaving system engineered to outperform twin blades. The new Norelco Rotatract Razor. Inside 3 floating heads, Rotatract works like twin blades to grip hair. Raise it up, then razor it off, hundreds of times a second, for a shave that's twin blade close without a nick or cut. The new twin-action Norelco Rotatract Razor. Cord and rechargeable. Twin blade closeness, but no gotcha.
The Dodger, there's a score. The Eagles 24, Redskins 14. And that one is 7 minutes to play at Philadelphia. The Dodgers and Astros just underway in Los Angeles. No score. Be incredible if the Dodgers won that, swept the 3, then they go to the playoff game tomorrow. Your partner, the radio side of CBS, Jack Buck, will be covering the National League playoffs, and I'll be over doing the American League playoffs with Ernie Harwell, Kansas City, Wednesday afternoon. Incomplete. Williams. Benjamin looks. What happened? Thought I had my tight end open. 1:54 to go.
Yeah, he had him open. He just threw the ball poorly. There's no question about the fact that Brooke Williams was open on the play. The tight end, number 88, had good time to throw the ball, threw it, but out in front, too low, incomplete.
Manning has a sore arm and is out for a while. Saints could be in real trouble with their offense, Hank.
I don't know how it could be much worse than it is right now.
That's right. Their deepest penetration has been the 45 of the Cardinals. Over the middle, incomplete to Tony Galbraith, the running back, coming out, number 34. Big rush on him. We have a flag down and a holding against the New Orleans Saints.
They'll decline the penalty, I'm sure, and will take possession.
Executive producer, Charles H. Milton III. Bob Rowe has been our producer here today in New Orleans. John McDonough has been the director. Steve Wegman, associate producer. Bill Dibble, the engineer in charge. And we're going now with Erxleben in punt formation. He's averaged 42.5 yards a punt. He kicks that one up. Mark Bell calls for a fair catch on his 45, 46-yard line. Cardinals have the ball, 1:42 to play, and they're ahead 40-7. William Andrews has just run for a touchdown, and Atlanta leads the Lions now 43-13.
Boy, that's really incredible, isn't it?
It is. Let's see, next week, the Rams play the Cardinals, and the Saints are Detroit against Billy Sims, and I think the week after that they go against the Atlanta Falcons and William Andrews. And they face Otis Anderson today, so they have 3 great running backs they're running into 3 weeks in a row. Mike Lloyd, the backup quarterback for the Cardinals, hands it off to Theodis Brown. Brown's been picking up some yardage here in the late moments of this game. Alex Price, number 75, who scored the only Saint touchdown today on a block punt, made the hit.
That time they lined up in a double tight end offense and wanted to get 7-on-7 and just run straight ahead and picked up 6 yards in a play.
I think Dick Vermeil summed the Cardinal club up pretty well after last Sunday. One line: this team should have never been 0-3. After we watched them today, we wonder how they lost the game. Well, we saw them lose in overtime to the 49ers. They could have won. We wonder how the Giants beat them.
Well, I saw them against Tampa in preseason. I was very impressed with them, and I thought they'd have an outstanding season.
Again, Theodis Brown, who's now playing the fullback spot, hangs over the middle to the 43-yard line of the Saints at a first down. Let's count the number of first downs that they have here today. They're around, boy, they've got a slew of them. They have 28 first downs in this game, and let's check the first downs for the Saints. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. 28 first downs to 3 first downs. I know you don't put the first downs up on the scoreboard, but they're important. So that means you're keeping the ball. Theodis Brown again, breaking away at the 40, 35 at the 30. Out of bounds, the clock stops, 10 seconds to go, and a first down. You got into the strategy. There's Hannafin, the coach, his club winning his second for him. First down. That's Brown, who ran up in the stands. He was going so hard. But a coach likes first downs.
For what?
We talked one time about first downs. Everybody said they don't mean anything. You say they mean a lot.
Well, it's a game of first downs, and the object of the game is really to march down the field with high percentage plays, move the chains, hopefully come up with 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, 2nd and 2. And if you do that, and that's exactly what St. Louis did here today, they had a super day running the football and coming up with good situations on 2nd down, and that's why they were able to move the ball so well against the New Orleans Saints.
They just gained their 29th first down. It's not a record. 32 is their record, their team record. And the clock is running out. They're going to let it run out, and that's it. And it's a crushing defeat here. Jim Hannafin goes over. There's Archie Manning, who had an injured arm, and Jim Hart. Two veterans, two classy guys talk. Hart's team played perfectly. He ran a beautiful ball game out there using that charging offensive line today. Those two tremendous running backs. Didn't matter who they put in those running backs today. They were going. They just controlled the line of scrimmage the entire game. And the final score is the St. Louis Cardinals 40 and the New Orleans Saints 7.
And you have to give the offensive line of the St. Louis Cardinals a lot of credit. Brad Oakes, Bostic, Brahaney, Banks, Deardorff, all of whom did an excellent job. And when they make things happen like they did today, the backs that they have are going to make a lot of yardage.
Hart and Manning still talking. Hart may have asked him about his arm. Jim Hart's been around 15 years in the National Football League. Archie Manning, 10 years. That's Hannafin asking Manning what he did to his arm. It's Henry Childs. Well, the Saints have lost 5 in a row. There goes Manning out. It's an unhappy crowd leaving the Louisiana Superdome. Every phase of the game, St. Louis was dominant. The Saints did not even threaten the day.
You talk about a no-contest game. That's exactly what this was, and it was really a sad situation for the New Orleans Saints, and especially so. Not only did they play poorly, but they lost some key people in the process, namely Tommy Myers and, of course, Archie Manning.
This is no surprise, Hank. Burt Jones has just run 9 yards for a score. And Baltimore, you and I were talking in the cab coming over, Baltimore leading Miami now 30-17 with 7 minutes to play in Miami.
Watch this. Cardinals 330 yards rushing. The Saints 15 passing. Look at that, Kurt.
433 total yards to 80 yards for the Saints. There's Otis Anderson, another 100-yard game for him. 29 first downs for St. Louis and 3 for the Saints. The Cardinals roll it in easy, 40-7. And on behalf of Hank Stram, this is Kurt Gowdy. We're now going to switch you to Philadelphia and the Redskin-Eagle game.
This is the final score. The St. Louis Cardinals, their second win of the year, winning 40-7 over New Orleans, and we welcome those viewers of that game. I'm Gary Bender along with John Madden. We have 3:18 left in this one, and it's 24-14 in favor of Philadelphia. First down for the Washington Redskins at the 6-yard line. Art Monk makes the catch. Nope, they're saying he was out of bounds. He did not have both feet in bounds. Let's go back and look at it.
And Joe Theismann started over to make a comment on that. It's a good play here. You don't want to stand in that pocket down there throwing from your own end zone. You roll out where you can see better. Get the ball to the outside. He only had 1 foot in. Good call.
This game started out in spectacular fashion. The Redskins scoring on a 54-yard touchdown pass. The Eagles came back with a 51-yarder. And then the Eagles started to go to work. Montgomery scored from 3 yards. Jaworski hit Harold Carmichael for 6 yards. He added a Tony Franklin field goal, only to see the Redskins come back and score here in the fourth quarter as Theismann's in trouble. Hits John McDaniel, and this time it is ruled a completion. Well, that was a fine catch by John McDaniel. Herman Edwards defending on the play. McDaniel getting up a little slow. This is the guy that drove you crazy on a Monday night game.
He had 9 receptions. He played against us for the Cincinnati Bengals. He had 9 receptions one night. He was playing against Willie Brown, one of the finest corners that ever played the game. And I didn't even know who he was. That was one of those deals where we had to look at the program and say, who is this guy, McDaniel? 9 passes.
And you screamed and yelled at Willie Brown all week about it.
All week. All week. That was bad. That was brutal.
First down now as Theismann getting a little operating room on first down, throwing again. He hits Jackson, Wilbur Jackson, 30, 35, out to the 38-yard line. And that missed field goal of 42 yards earlier by Mark Mosley looks a lot bigger right now.
That looms big, and you really have to respect the job that Joe Theismann does here to move around, to complete these passes, to get the ball off his own goal line, get out where he does have the operating room.
And so, at the 38-yard line, we have a timeout as the 2-minute warning is here. A 10-point lead for Philadelphia.
Presenting the 1980 Subaru. Its chiseled lines use the air it drives through to hold it to the road. But Subaru is even beautiful in places you can't see. There's front-wheel drive, independent suspension, 2 separate brake line circuits, and electronic sensors notify the driver when a brake light is amiss or a door is ajar. Look into Subaru. See the beauty of our logic. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
Introducing the revolutionary twin-action shaving system engineered to outperform twin blades. The new Norelco Road-Attract Razor. Inside 3 floating heads, Road-Attract works like twin blades to grip hair. Raise it up, then razor it off, hundreds of times a second, for a shave that's twin blade close without a nick or cut. The new twin-action Norelco Road-Attract Razor. Cord and rechargeable. Twin blade closeness, but no gotcha.
Well, you look at the Washington Redskins side. We were just kidding a while ago, Joe Walton and all the crew over there. He had his hat on backwards a while ago. Man, that was a problem.
Yeah, and the quarterback, Joe Theismann, wasn't sure which way he was looking. But he does call the plays for the Redskins. He's the offensive coordinator.
And he is very high on Joe Theismann. First down after that 20-yard pass a while ago. Ricky Thompson. Well, that would have been a remarkable catch had he held on. Theismann is really zipping that ball. He's rifling some shots out there. As Walton now, let's watch it. Let's see how he sends this one in. Well, he's going to send it in through John McDaniel.
There's 2 ways. They can signal the plays in with hand signals, or they can send them in with another player. In this case, it's John McDaniel, the wide receiver.
Now, in this game, if the Astros hold on, they win that division. If they lose, they've got to go to a playoff tomorrow. Big game out west between the Dodgers and Astros. Theismann back on 2nd and 10. He throws another strike. Nope, didn't hang on. Ball was, again, a bullet up the middle. Rick Walker, the big tight end. 3rd down coming up.
He did throw it in there. Now Joe Walton's thinking, you get to 1st downs easier to call than 2nd. 2nd downs easier than 3rd. And now they have that 3rd and 10. And instead of hand signaling or sending in a player, he looked like he just yelled that play in. We'll see what it is.
You do it this time.
Yeah, he said 1st and 10, I did it. 2nd was mine. 3rd and 10, you're on your own.
3rd down, 10. From the 38, Theismann back. And trying to come up is Art Monk. There's a flag on the play thrown around the quarterback, but I believe it's going to go against Washington. It's holding against the Redskins.
Well, and again, that was the late one called by the referee, which means it's late in the backfield or at the end of the pass protection, and that one can really hurt.
Well, they may refuse this. What do you think? It would bring up a 4th down.
No, I think they're going to put him back and see what they'll do with 3rd and 20.
That's what they're going to do.
Now, 3rd and 20 is when I always went to get a drink of water.
Holding, number 60, offense, 3rd down.
That left tackle position for the Redskins has a very tough time. Terry Hermeling had 4 holding penalties last week playing left tackle. This week, Gary Anderson is playing now for Hermeling, who has a concussion, and that's the 2nd holding penalty that he's had at left tackle.
Well, they're passing it around. 3rd down now, 20 yards to go. Theismann, he's hit as he tries to deliver the ball to Bobby Hammond. And Theismann getting up very slowly. Gary Anderson could not keep Carl Hairston out, and we'll see it on this replay.
He sure couldn't. Carl Hairston gets off the ball very quick and just runs right around Gary Anderson. We see him coming here, and it's very difficult to pass from that position when someone's hanging on your left shoulder.
Connell will have to kick. So the penalties have really hurt this team all day long, and this drive is just another example of it. inside the 15. Connell hits it high, but relatively short. And over there is Wilbur Jackson, and he has some help from Rich Malott, and they will down the football at the 46, and you see the time remaining, 1:26. Well, I would say the Eagles have come back, and that's what Dick Vermeil said. He said, we were brought down to earth, but we'll be back, and they have come back impressively here today.
And we had the opportunity to see them last week, and we knew what really brought them down to earth, I think, was the fact that they didn't play fundamentally sound football. They were really beaten in the lines, both offensively and defensively. And now today, they look like their offensive line has done an excellent job.
New quarterback Joe Pisarcik has come in. There he is, number 9. He's thrown 5 passes thus far. And Billy Campfield to the 50-yard line. He's been in Dick Vermeil's doghouse. Been hurt a lot, and Dick is waiting on him to get healthy, and today he's seen some action.
Well, he's had a pulled hamstring, and of course for him to come back with Wilbert Montgomery's hip pointer, I think is a big thing for the Eagles. But Wilbert Montgomery really looked like he was okay today, didn't
Boy, he did. And, you know, early it looked a little shaky. They took him out of there, and they were very precautious about what they were doing. And as an end result, he was able to continue. Our executive producer is Charles Milton III. Our producer, Bob Stinner. Our director is Sandy Grossman. Our associate producer is Michael Albanese. And gentlemen, thank you. We've enjoyed it.
What a job they do. Bob Stenner and Sandy Grossman. The camera work has been excellent today.
And at the 50-yard line, it'll be second down now. 6 yards to go as Pisarcik with the conference on the near sideline. Well, this Philadelphia team, they're really excited about him as well. They should be. They've started out in great fashion. They've rebounded from last week. And there is now Detroit starting to make a move. Look at that. 22 points in the fourth quarter. They had Billy Sims. They held to 21 yards the last we had checked. Billy Campfield inside the 50 to the 48. I couldn't believe that you could hold the Lions down very long, but looks like they may have waited too long to make their move.
Right, as we see another timeout here, and there are a lot of happy people for the Eagles. The stadium was full today. The coaching staff, the players, everyone's excited this year about this team. They really feel that this is a year that they can go all the way. And one person that we don't see on the sideline or in the stands, but is here in the boxes, is the owner Leonard Toews, who has really done an outstanding job as an owner. He's always been one of my favorite, a real gentleman, a real class person. And you know who's with him today? His guest?
I saw him, Don Rickles.
Don Rickles, a real funny man. They lost the game, so they brought Don Rickles in to help. I don't know if he has any plays or not, but he sure has a lot of talent.
Can he block or tackle?
No. He just wants sweatsuits. He likes to wear sweatsuits around.
So it's third down, 3 yards to go for Philadelphia. This series between these two was split last year, and the Eagles winning here and losing in RFK. And the Colts now 13 more points in the fourth quarter. That's a big win for them over Miami. Go to 3-2. Pisarcik off to Campfield again. He gets a block, and he's across the 50 to the 47-yard line. 1:04 left in this game. Brad Dusick making the stop for Washington. Washington played 2 tough AFC Western Division teams, and they got to turn right around and do it again now. They got to play Denver.
Right. We had the opportunity to see a couple of those games. The Oakland Raider game we saw on film. We saw some of the Seattle game. And I feel that the Redskins played better today than they did their last 2 games.
I want to thank our statistician, Jerry Bruderly, and our spotter, Bob Brennan, for a job well done today, as Runniger now inside the 40-yard line to kick. Nelm standing at the 10. And they're going to have a delay of game coming up. Eagles taking all the time that they possibly can, using all 30 seconds, and the Broncos leading the Browns. Cleveland won their last 2. Denver's been an interesting team this year. They've been kind of up and down.
They haven't had
Delay of
too many
game.
ups.
Offense.
And now back to the 47-yard line after the 5-yard penalty. Runninger from the 33 this time to kick. 10 men up there now for Washington. Helms is going to let it hit. John Shira down there, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 19-yard line. And now the Patriots leading the Jets. New England looking for their 4th win of the year.
The Jets scored 5 points in the 4th quarter. That 4th quarter looks like a baseball score, 5-0.
And 6 points in that 1st quarter. Very interesting way of scoring in that game. That was only a 33-yard kick that time by Runninger. And at the 19-yard line, Washington with a football. You see the time remaining, and the Astros leading the Dodgers in the 2nd inning, 2-0. That pass to Bobby Hammond. Hammond continues to have a big day. The Redskins are going without a huddle. Picked up 4 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down, 6. Heisman back again. And Art Monk has it. Monk on the crossing pattern, a 1st down, but there's another flag on the play way back at the 10-yard line. And this one now is still 26-0. That's now a final, I understand. It is not a final. It's 26-0. There's Ron Jaworski, and he knows it's final here.
Right, and he's a lot happier today than he was a week ago today, isn't he?
He sure is.
The life of a quarterback.
Well, he's had some pretty good coaching this year by a man by the name of Sid Gilman. And Gilman said that he had a good week in practice, and it was certainly shown today.
Yeah, Sid told us yesterday that the best throwing in practice by a quarterback that he's ever seen, and that's a long time for a Sid Gilman, was the way that Ron Jaworski threw the ball last week.
Inside the 15 now after the penalty. 2nd and 15. 33 seconds left in the game. Heisman, good pressure put on. Buddy Hardiman, did he catch that? He did.
He sure did.
Boy, what a catch by Buddy Hardiman. Brings him back out to 21. There's Harold Carmichael. He's now with his string at 117 games after the catches today. There's an interception. Nope, incomplete. Jerry Robinson thought he had it.
Jerry Robinson showed it to the officials. He said, look, I had it in my hands. Here, it's still in my hands. You take it. Look at it. You see his rib pads there, but he did make a nice effort towards it. As we see it again here. Let's see if he did get it. Oh, it probably hit the ground right there, didn't it? But those linebackers, they don't get a chance to get the ball in their hands a lot of time. But when they do, they really want it.
There's the final, John. 21-11. New England. The Jets still winless. 0-5, and it's going to be a tough uphill battle for them. Heisman on 4th down at 7. Dropped by Monk. Stops the clock with 8 seconds. And so Philadelphia will take over with these 8 seconds remaining. Well, there's going to be some chase in this NFC East. Dallas, Philadelphia, look out for the Cardinals now, the way they played today.
And the Redskins really wanted to get that type of start today, and it's something that that they're not happy with. The Jets are 0-5, but these Redskins are 1-4, and that's not much better.
1-4, and the team that they thought they would be right up on top with is 4-1. So when you lose in the division, it even hurts a little bit more. Theismann in this game threw the ball 33 times, completing 19, 232 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. A touchdown, a spectacular play, 54 yards.
A good